All right, then, no nonsense 80% win rate strategy. I'm going to show you what the strategy is, and then I'm going to go find some examples of it over the past few weeks. Hope you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you do want signals or alerts for this, you can get them in the description below. So basically what you're looking for is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. This is the signature and price that you're looking for with a nice liquidity sweep of a key level like this. And then you're looking for that reversal back up. You want to catch the move back to the upside with an inverted fair value gap like this. Once it closes above, you enter your position. You have a manual stop loss if we close back below, targeting a 1 for 1. Once you hit your 1 for 1, you go break even. On the rest of your position, you scale half here, go break even. Then you'll have runners about halfway up the V shape and also back towards all-time highs, because we are at all-time highs on NQ. Generally speaking, you do head back up towards these levels. And this is the strategy. Very, very simple. And I'm going to show you some examples of it right now. So let's just take a look here. If we actually got one on NQ literally right this second, I think we might do actually. You can see we've got a liquidity sweep here. Obviously a decent V-shape back up. There was one here as well. You can see we didn't really, I did get a decent liquidity sweep, but I would have wanted this low here to be swept as well. Let's just take a look here. You can see on the 5 minute, this would have been a good trade. A bit of accumulation here, manipulation down below this level. If we'd have got this and then a nice fair value gap back to the upside, this would have been good. But you can see here right now that we're not really getting anything today. We haven't got the liquidity sweep so far, but I do think we could get one soon. I've got an alert set down here, as you can see, when we hit this low and then hopefully get a V shape back out of it. But overall, these trades happen all the damn time. I'm just going to go through here and show you some, because it is incredible how often that this signature and price does happen. You can see there was actually a fair value gap here that you could have taken from this V shape in particular. You can see we came up with a good textbook looking V-shaped pan. This one would have worked, obviously. The previous V-shape that we saw. We did get a liquidity sweep of this level and all this liquidity to the side here, just not the major low. And you can see this would have worked, obviously, for our 1 for 1, go break even on the rest. Target about halfway up your V-shape for your second TP. This would have been a 1 to 2, as you can see. Nice little trade. I think that would have been a pretty decent one. Nothing here, just a bit of consolidation, but no major sweeps. You can see throughout the night here, not too much going on. Nothing that I can really see here that would have been anything decent, to be honest. Just a lot of accumulation, a lot of chop, to be honest, not many decent swings. We got one here. This would have been a decent one here. Pretty obvious liquidity sweep. Nice V shape. Liquidity accumulation, manipulation, distribution. You can see entered on this candle here. You would have just about got your 1 for 1. Then obviously gone break even on the rest. Got to stop break even pretty instantaneously, but another decent trade. That would have been a scale half break even trade, which is totally fine. Let's just take a look here and continue looking sideways. This is just on the 1 minute time frame, by the way, but you can trade on multiple time frames. I tend to, if I see set up on one time frame, I'll accumulate all the other time frames together or look for the biggest, most obvious gap before taking a trade. As you can see here, this took a while to play out, but there may well have been a better 5 minute entry or something of that ilk. Maybe a 3 minute here. Let's just see if there's a 2 minute maybe. Okay, so this would have been probably a more of a better 2 minute trade here. You can see it would have took a while to play out though. Not your textbook V-shaped pattern, as you can see. Came down, consolidated for a while, finally swept the low, and then we came back up here, consolidated underneath. You could have taken this and you can see it would have worked. Stop loss below, take profit at a 1 to 1. We come up, we hit the TP pretty much in the space of 10 minutes or so. Break even on the rest and then hold runners up through your V-shape. Obviously, there wasn't much of a V-shape here, so I would have just held it back up through these levels of liquidity. There's a pretty obvious wick there. I probably would have taken profits about a 2 to 1, as you can see. The rest would have been break-evened. That was a trade that would have worked as well. Let's just continue going across here. Where did I get to? The problem is when you switch between time frames on TradingView, it zip-zaps you around when it should just be in exactly the same place, in my opinion. But anyway, as you can see, let's continue and have a look here. We have got a fair value gap here. A big obvious one, as you can see, over the space of 2 candles. Probably wouldn't have taken this one because we hit the internal swing high of the V shape before we actually closed, as you can see. So I probably wouldn't have taken this one personally. It would have worked here, as you can see. But one of the conditions that I have is that I don't. If you have your V shape, for example, like this is your initial V shape, right? If you come up and you hit the top of the V shape before you get an entry, generally speaking, you've kind of ran out of room and you could get a retracement from here, obviously. As you can see, we chopped around for a little while before popping up and then getting the full rejection. But more often than not, you want to be entering before you enter and before you're close to the resistance. So you've got a good chance of coming up and getting a decent move before you get a rejection. If that makes sense. You can see here, this is quite a lot low volume conditions. Very, very low volume conditions, actually. So I might just skip along back to Thursday where we had a bit more volume. Let's just take a look here and see. There's not much going on here. As you can see, because I think Thursday and Friday we had quite a lot of chop. To be honest, it wasn't a great week last week in terms of potential trades, etc. There was almost a trade here, as you can see, but we never closed above. Lots and lots of chop recently. So I remember this day was particularly frustrating because we had that big dump for news. And I knew that this was going to reverse back up, but we never really got a clean entry. As you can see, you could have taken this fair value gap, but this is obviously nowhere near the V shape that we're looking for. Obviously, this would have worked back to the highs, which is really annoying. But you can see we had never really got a clean entry back to the upside for this for me. You could have potentially entered this. I think a lot of people did enter this, but they ended up getting, at the very least, in a considerable long time of drawdown. Although this would have eventually worked because technically we never closed back below this fair value gap here, as you can see, all the way down to this inception gap down here. And this still would have worked back to the highs, but obviously not an ideal trade to be sitting in it for literally half an hour in drawdown. But overall, last week was a bit of a weird one, but you can clearly see the idea, guys. There's a lot of potential trades all the time with this strategy. I do urge you to go check it out. And also you can trade gold with this as well. Let me just take a quick look at gold because there was a trade last night on the 15-minute that I wanted to talk about. As you can see, this was a pretty damn textbook trade. Accumulation, manipulation, amazing momentum back to the upside. Look at this big green candle. This is the kind of candle that you want to see. Closing back above this fair value gap. We've got good targets above. You can see we enter on this candle here. We come up, we hit the 1 for 1, which would have been... Let me just make sure that this is looking good. The 1 for 1 would have got hit within the space of the first candle. Go break even on the rest. Targets up through your liquidity points here. You could have held one all the way up here. Obviously, we'd still be in this trade if I did take this, but obviously this was last night when I was asleep, which is quite annoying. You can see you could have taken profit here and here. This would have been a nice 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Obviously, if you scale half at 1, scale half at 2, and then scale half at like 3 or 4, it's about a 1 to 2 overall. But overall, absolutely amazing strategy. Works on a multitude of different pairs. So definitely go check it out. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. Make sure you get the signals and alerts down below in the description. I'm not going to waffle on any longer because I don't think there's any need. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.